Hello there, friends, and welcome back to Sesh Cast. My name is GLDLX. This is Sesh Cast, a cannabis podcast for cannabis sessions, and today I am rolling headphoneless, which is weird because I don't do this very often. I used to do this all the time, and now I don't do it anymore, and it's weird. But I'm recording without headphones, so I don't know what I sound like. But anyway, this is Seshcast, a cannabis podcast for cannabis sessions. This is a show where I get high and I talk about stuff. And I just see where it takes me. And I tend to get higher while I talk about it because I smoke more. It's a weed show, friends. That's the name of the game here. Anyway, so today I am smoking on... Oh man, what the heck is this? I don't have the bag in my recording studio. Earth OG? I want to say it's Earth OG. Let's call it Earth OG. So this is Earth OG, and I am smoking out of my Will Star piece. That's been on my Instagram a couple of times, and it is my, I've talked about this before, but I collect glass, and I have a lot of different pieces, but I'm kind of a neat freak about my glass, and I'm a little OCD about it. So I really hate smoking out of dirty glass, just because it makes me feel way worse. And I just always feel better when I don't, or like when I smoke out of cleaner glass. I don't cough as much, and my throat feels better, and my lungs feel better. But I just really hate having a whole bunch of dirty glass. I like to keep my glass clean. And so I switch bowls typically like once a month, and I try not to let like more than 3 or 4 pieces get, or like not necessarily bowls, but daily drivers. And I try and not let more than 3 or 4 pieces get dirty at a time. And I currently have 3.5. I have 3 and then a new piece which I haven't rinsed out yet, so it's still in the shouldn't be smoked with category. But I've got 4 things that need to be cleaned, and I'll switch up bowls again in January, and it will be time to clean this Will Star up real nice and shine it all up and put it back in the glass cabinet and move on to something else, and then just look at this and obsess over how pretty it is for a while. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm smoking out of today. I will try my best to put a picture of it on my Instagram in a relatively timely fashion. You can check my Instagram at Sesh Cast if you have not been there. It's pretty much the best way to keep up with me outside of the show, although I'm not super active on there. But it is probably the best way to contact me. And I'm going to try and get better at responding to people. I have really slacked off. And that's something that I'm probably going to talk about a little bit today, but I might forget and talk about next week. I don't know yet. Anyway, I think I've said anyway 6 times now. Yeah, I'm smoking on this Will Star piece. You can see the picture on my Instagram. My Instagram is at SeshCast. That's all of those things. I'm trying to get better about doing show housekeeping at the beginning of the show, because I used to do it really well, and now I forget about it until the end, and then I don't remember to say everything. So if you're looking for another place to connect with me, you can find my email, I think, on my Instagram, also on my website. Sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes, and I got kind of distracted by it. Anyway, you can find that on my on my website, which is seshcast.libsyn.com. And rate the show on iTunes if you wanna. It's helpful, so if you're looking for a way to help out, that's always a big help. The old rate and review technique never hurts. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for being here. And man, I actually did the first 5 minutes of my show for what I feel like is been months since I've actually accomplished. I feel like I always used to be so good about making the first 5 minutes just housekeeping, and I have not done well with that lately. And then I just kind of ramble about it throughout the episode, or I forget to keep people updated on a bunch of things. So that's pretty much all of the housekeeping stuff. I should say My episodes come out every Thursday, which if you have subscribed, you know. If you haven't subscribed, that's fine. It's whatever. You don't necessarily need to know what day my episodes come out. But if you're ever curious, they come out on Thursday. And it is currently Thursday. And it is currently 7 p.m. And I had not recorded an episode, and I still need to edit this one. Also, I can already tell that my levels are way louder because my mic is set for a different podcast. So I apologize in advance if I'm like yelling at you as opposed to when I'm really chill normally. But like I was saying, it is 7:19 p.m. On Thursday, and I still have to record, cut, and edit and upload this episode. So this is gonna hit the streams late tonight, or I don't know, whenever tonight was when you were listening to this. When you are listening to this, time, man. Uh, and then I will have another episode up next Thursday that I will have more time to record in advance. And not be so behind on, but this week went a little bit crazy and awry, and not the way that I had planned it out going. And I saw Metallica last night, so like, give me a break. It's Metallica. Um, yeah, so that is a long story to say that all those things and changes I said in the last episode, the little update from PodCon that I said were coming, are definitely coming. Not coming this week because it's Thursday night and I haven't put an episode up yet. So here we are, folks. Now that's all the housekeeping. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I am going to smoke some weed because apparently I'm not high enough yet because my brain is moving like 10 million miles a minute. Lighter, lighter, lighter. All right. Okay. Whew. It's so weird recording without headphones on. I haven't done this in a minute. I'll talk about that after I hit this. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this. I hope that you can hit something along with me, preferably weed. Like, don't like punch something. Chill. It's okay. Smoke some weed. And I hope you can smoke some weed with me. And I hope your day is going great. And I hope everything is good for you. I'm gonna smoke this. Cheers. Oh boy. All right. Pretty cotton mouthed already. NGL. So prepare for this to be a drink heavy long break episode. Take those long drags if you're smoking along, and don't expect for me to come back quick because I am already chewing on sandpaper. Okay, so it's weird that I'm recording without headphones on for a couple of reasons. Um, One is because this is not the way that most people record. This isn't really the way that you should record. It's really interesting to do it this way because you can't hear what you sound like. So I don't know how I'm coming across, what sort of background noise I'm making, what I need to not do, what I need to like or move around so I'm not interfering with a mic cable or anything. Typically I can hear all that going on, and right now I have no idea. So that's a huge reason as to like why you shouldn't do this because you can't tell what you actually sound like. So that's thing one. Thing two is that it keeps you sort of out of the same zone. It's hard to like really get into focus when you don't have headphones on because you're not hearing your own voice right in your ears. It's more easy. It's easier? Easier. It's easier to get distracted. You can become distracted more easily. Um, if you don't have headphones on because you're hearing every other little thing and it's not like being pumped directly into you. It just doesn't keep your focus. There's depth to the sound, and distance and so forth. It's just weird, trust me. So those are the like reasons on one side. Reason on the other side is that when I first started out in college radio, when I like really had no idea what I was doing, for gosh, like I think all 4 years of college. Yeah, I think all 4 years of college, I never recorded with headphones on. I only broadcasted and recorded, like whether I was on the air, whether I was recording something for a voiceover, always recorded without headphones on. And I don't have a good reason as to why that was. It was just like the way I wanted to do it. I thought it made me cool. And then I got into real radio and realized that everyone recorded with headphones on because it's better. It's like it's just what you should do. Um, but I'm not recording with headphones on tonight because my headphones are in my car, which is outside, and it is cold. Not like so cold that I can't go outside or don't really enjoy it because I love the cold, but cold enough that I didn't want to divert my already high self back outside to get my headphones and bring them back down. And I typically, if I don't have my headphones, I just record with earbuds. And I just kind of felt like doing it without them, like doing it with the open ears for an episode, just because I haven't done it in a really long time, and it's kind of nice to remind myself what it was like, and sometimes it's just a little bit more fun for me. I can relax a little bit, and I don't know. It just sort of reminds me of my first couple years in college radio when I'd literally just open the mic and ramble for a while, which was the best, man. Oh gosh, the enjoyment of that is really where this podcast stemmed from. Just like being able to just broadcast live and basically say whatever I wanted. Man, college radio is one of the last bastions of the free world. And if you are in college right now, I urge you, please listen to your college radio station, support your college radio station. Like that is the last one of the last free pieces of the media right now, and it's just college radio is a league of its own. So sorry about that little side tangent. Long story short, I'm recording without headphones on. Now, maybe you're interested in me talking about what I titled the episode this week. I don't know. The title this week and the topic this week is temper. Um, and I think that this was kind of popping in and out of my head as a topic idea today because I've really been noticing my own temper lately. And it has not just been at other people, it has like been aimed a lot towards myself. And I've been really, really aware of it today in particular, I don't know if an ly goes on the end of that saying. If we're being honest, I've said it both ways my whole life and never actually known which is correct. So, in particularly, or in particular, one of those hurt your ears if you're a grammar person. Um, I'm sorry to whoever you are. Feel free to correct me. Um, so, I've been really, really aware of the fact that I have been short with myself and just ready to like jump down my own throat for any little mistake I make. I've been like hypercritical of myself and more so than usual, and I've sort of realized I think that it's not just that I'm beating myself up, it's that I'm short-tempered with myself. And I'm assuming that because I'm being short-tempered with myself, I'm probably also being that way in an out or I'm probably also doing that outward. I'm probably being short-tempered with other people. I don't totally know why I'm been feeling this way lately, but I've just been really aware today that I've been jumping down my own throat with every little mistake. And so I'm assuming, and I think rightly so, that I've probably been a little bit more short-tempered with other people, which bums me out because that's something I've spent a whole lot of my life trying to be really aware of and be better about. When I was a little kid, I had a terrible temper. Like I would go off on the smallest thing, and like it always used to really come up in basketball. I hate basketball. I'm sorry if basketball is your favorite sport. That's cool for you. I hate it because I had such a negative experience of playing basketball my whole life, and I didn't realize how much I hated it until after I quit playing. But anyway, it used to really come out in basketball because like if the other team would score, I would like smack the wall and be really over dramatic, and it just I had like such a flaracious. There's no way that's a word. I had just a such a quick to flare temper, um, about everything, and I realized that. probably in the middle area, maybe late middle school. TBH, I'm not totally sure, so I'm checking to make sure my computer is plugged in. Um, yeah, I started to notice that around middle school that like I really had a bad temper and would like overreact to things quickly. And I've been trying ever since to be much more mindful of the way I acted or of the way I act and mostly the way I react, because that was what it always was for me. It was never necessarily that I got angrier quicker. It was more that or that I got angry quickly. I think that was the way I wanted to say it. It was more just that I reacted to things pretty immediately and always put my gut reaction out, my like initial first shock reaction, which was typically anger. Um, but as I grew older, I tried really hard to focus on what my reaction to something was. Like if somebody told me something, or if somebody said something to me, or whatever, anything that would really set me off, I tried hard to consider my own reaction and be very mindful of the way that I was reacting. And a lot of that has been like learning to process through emotions and realize why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Like just general mindfulness, I think, is really important and super beneficial. Um, but the place that I noticed it the most was in my anger and in managing my own temper, because becoming aware of how I was feeling and talking myself through how I was feeling and using how I was really feeling to craft a reaction that was appropriate to the situation was crucial to me in getting my temper under control, because you do that for an extended period of time and it starts to like sort of just slow your reactionary process naturally, and you I think that your fuse gets a little bit longer, so to say, or so to speak. I've been rambling. I need to take a hit. I'm gonna take a hit and I'll be back. Cheers. Goodness, this is the worst. I have so much left to do tonight, but I had to get this episode done now, and so I have a long to do list, and here I am going to be balls high at 8 o'clock at night with a bunch of stuff left to do. Gosh, I'm gonna channel my buddy Steve from the Baked and Awake show. His slogan, "Smoke indica, do shit anyway," at me right now, because this is putting me so heavy in my chair. Like I could spend the rest of the night here, and I can't, and that makes me sad. Um. Anyway, uh, I've spent this really long time getting my temper under control, and I think that the longer you do that, the longer your fuse gets, and so on and so forth. And so here I am today, being very aware of how short my temper is, and being very aware that I am jumping down specifically my own throat at every little suggestion I make to myself, every little action I take. I'm over judging every single thing that I do, and I'm just getting angry with myself, um, which I is not something that is. This isn't the first time that I felt this way. I wouldn't say that it necessarily happens to me often, but just with my general mental health, it is a situation that I slip into on occasion. Um, so here I am jumping down my own throat and thinking, why am I feeling this way? What effect is this having on the world around me? And I don't necessarily think that I'm doing this episode to talk about why I'm feeling this way. I more wanted to do this episode just to talk, I think, about the effects on the world around me, and how that was changing my mood throughout the day. I had a long work day today. The reason that I am recording this episode now, as opposed to yesterday or Monday, is because at the beginning of the week, my girlfriend got sick. And then on Wednesday, I was supposed to record and got called into work very last minute, and had to cover a shift, and then saw Metallica in a completely different city. Went to a different state on Wednesday, and then drove back to then wake up today and record an episode, or wake up today, have a full day of work, come home, record an episode, continue on with my to do list. Um, and I got an okay amount of sleep last night, but just not the right amount. You know, there are some nights where you sleep 4 hours, you feel great. You sleep 6 hours, you feel okay. You sleep 5.5 hours, and you want to die. Like, there's just those sweet spots, you know? Like, for me, if I get 4 hours, I'm good. If I get 3 or 2 hours, I'm awful. Like 1 hour, 4 hours, great. 2 or 3 hours, I feel worse than I felt when I went to bed. And so I must have just hit the wrong amount of sleep last night, because I woke up today feeling like death. And just not wanting to do anything. I don't know if you can tell super well on the microphone because I don't have my headphones on. But I'm a little bit stuffy. I think I'm starting to get sick. Like, there's just so much going around. It's that time of year. I think I'm gonna get sick. Um, I've got all of that stuff going on, and I've got a new doctor's appointment tomorrow, and just the first time you go to a new doctor is always an awkward, miserable experience. So I'm not excited for that. Uh, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today with not enough sleep, and knowing that the rest of the day was not something I was looking forward to. Didn't want to go to work, didn't want to deal with folks at work, just wasn't feeling like being a customer service representative today. I was at the climbing gym, not the radio station. And yeah, just was like not feeling it. So I had sort of woken up for failure. But as the day went on, I just felt myself peeling more and more away from other people, and over analyzing my own reaction to everything that was going on, or like becoming overly emotional about things that were going on, feeling like I was sort of being ignored, or being, I don't know, looked down upon in ways that were completely fabricated in my own head, but just sort of put, like, that was the sort of assumption I was having about little things that I was doing. And I was really jumping down my own throat and getting angry at myself for doing things that I would immediately judge as, like, not the way I should have done something, not the way I should have reacted to something. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting lost a little bit in how I'm trying to say this, but I'm just gonna keep going. Um, I just sort of felt like I was getting to this point where anything I would do, I would get angry at myself for doing, because after I had done it, I had decided that the consequences weren't worth the actions, even if there were no consequences. But it was one of those, like, oh, you embarrassed yourself, you didn't do the right thing, or that was stupid, why did you say that, or things like that. And again, all of those things completely fabricated in my own head, but just was slipping into that place where I was not necessarily like embarrassed, not necessarily sad or felt stupid. It was like I was angry at myself for doing whatever I did. And it was like one side of me was angry at a different side of me. Um, and I just kind of felt like I spent all day standing in front of myself and yelling at myself. And that's such a weird feeling, you know? It's this like weird place to know that you are being your own worst enemy, and to watch yourself be mean to you is strange. But I think is a feeling that probably levels with a lot of people. Like, I think that there are probably a decent amount of people out there who have had that feeling before, or at least have spent days being angry at themselves, and maybe not have been super aware of it, but everyone has had those days where you were just beating down on yourself for not necessarily any reason, and it sucks. It's not a fun day to have, and I think that it causes a lot of problems. And I'm going to try and remember all that and continue on the same path after I take this hit. I make you no promises. Cheers, friends. Okay. All right. Oh boy. So, I think that having these days where you have a short temper with yourself can really impact the way that you go through a day. I mean, obviously, I feel like that's a pretty clear thing there, that if you're being mean to yourself all day, if you're being short with yourself all day, then it's going to change the way you interact with the rest of the world. Um, it's going to change the way you treat other people because it's going to make you want to lash out, or at least that was the way that I felt today. I felt like I was being mean to myself, and I wanted to that I basically wanted to battle back with the other side of my brain. But instead of doing that by being positive and being kind to myself, I wanted to lash out and take that out on other people because I couldn't really take it out on myself. Um, so I really wanted to snap at other people today, or just not wanted to, but I just had that temperament with other people today because I was taking out my anger with myself on other people. Um, and it was lame. I hated it, but I tried my best not to be angry with people or get short with people, but I all day today I felt really tasked by all of my social interactions. Everyone I talked to, it felt really difficult to communicate with them, and I just felt like I couldn't interact with other people without getting angry or becoming upset in some way. So after spending all day that way, I got home and was just exhausted. I mean, I got in my car and rode home and was just so wiped out. And it wasn't just because I hadn't gotten the right amount of sleep last night. It was I had legitimately spent a lot of the energy in all of my communications today. And of course, we were super busy at work and I had a lot to do and yada, yada, yada. But time just seemed to drag on. And man, it's just been such a long day. So after spending all day being so angry with myself and realizing that I was being short and taking that out on other people, I got home and thought, how can I handle this better the next time? How can I get around this feeling and put my mind in a different place and put my mindset in a different direction? And I guess that was where I thought maybe this episode would go, maybe where the takeaway from this episode would be, was how best to get around it. And I don't know that I necessarily know. I'm not necessarily here to give advice. I think I'm just here to talk through the way that my head is working, and hope that maybe that's beneficial for somebody else. Maybe you can find a little bit of yourself or wherever your own head game is at in what I'm saying. So that's where I'm gonna go, I think. I guess that if I was in this situation again, then the next time that I'm feeling this way, I think one of the things that I really want to focus on is being kinder, being more kind. I don't know words are just out of my range tonight, but they are. I'm out of words, man. I've over communicated today. Um, so I think that I would just need to be a little bit nicer and more forgiving to myself to really help my interactions with other people. Um, and I guess obviously that's the solution to the whole problem. Like if you're being short tempered with yourself, why don't you try? I don't know, not doing it. That's basically what I said right there. Um, but that was something that I thought about when I got home. I was like, why was I so short tempered with myself today? Was it because of how little sleep I got last night? Was it because of something else? Was it like some singular thing that I felt like I needed to process through? Or because sometimes that happens. Like sometimes you do a thing, whatever that thing may be, and you never really have time to process through how you felt about doing that thing, whatever that thing may be, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing. Uh, and so it just sort of like backs up on you until you have time to like sit back and process and figure out how you feel about whatever thing you did. So I really felt like I have completely lost my train of thought. Holy smokes. See, this is the problem with recording without headphones on, but honestly, this happens when I have headphones on too. I just looked away from my microphone. Like, if I focus on one point, which I'm doing pretty good about talking straight forward as opposed to at my microphone today, um, I looked up and away and just, it was totally gone. My whole thought just disappeared. Gosh. And I was going somewhere. I felt like I was going somewhere. I don't know. Boy, oh boy. I'm reading the movie titles on my cabinet in front of me. This is, alright, if you've never listened to the show before, first off, thanks for stopping by. That was really cool of you. Second off, um, this is real. Like, this show is just live to tape, and whatever happens, happens. I put it out there. The only things I cut out are if I say something that I just, like, really, really don't feel good about saying, and I 100% of the time will say, like, hey, or I just cut something out back there. I try and explain what I edited. Sort of that same, like, mentality as a Reddit post. Like, whatever you put up there, and then you put your edits at the bottom, but I just cite during. Um, so yeah, I lose my train of thought sometimes, and this is very real. Like, it's whatever it was gone. I was talking about temper. I was talking about how to be better. I was talking about how just not being angry at yourself would make you not angry at yourself, because that was insightful. I don't know. Let's go somewhere else. Let's talk about how I think I could have interacted with other people. And I think that what I was really lacking today was not necessarily patience, but empathy. I think that I really struggled to uh, empathize with other people today. And I think that if I would have focused less on how I was feeling and more on how other people were feeling, that would have that would have improved my reactions to people. And I think that if I would have watched myself be kinder to other people, be more kind to other people, I would have in turn been more kind to myself. Like, it's a two-way street. If you improve one way, you're gonna inherently improve the other way. At least that's the idea. So yeah, I think that would have been helpful. Um, I really don't know. It was a really weird day for me today, and it really all day I was having these sort of like very deep flashback memories of being in the fifth, sixth, seventh grade and getting so upset so quickly over the littlest things, and trying to remind myself how that felt when I was a little kid, and how I knew I didn't need to do that anymore, and how I've grown up and learned that that's not the best way to respond to things, not only for other people but for yourself. Like, it is more mentally and emotionally happy, or mentally and emotionally healthy, to take time to process and think and have a thoughtful response to whatever you are responding to. And I really could have done a better job of that today. Um, and it was, oh, shoot, man, I lost my train of thought again. Holy smokes, this weed is some weed. Let me tell you, I'm so high. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm gonna hit this again, and then I don't know. I'll try and wrap it up, I guess. I'll be right back. Cheers. All right, let me try and bring it all together. I feel like that was very rhythmic. You could sample that. Oh gosh. Um, so let's try and bring it all together. Let's get a TLDR all up in this business. TLDR. I had a crappy day, and I was a jerk to myself, and I might have been kind of a jerk to other people. I did not, luckily, have any interactions with somebody that was like inherent or like not inherently was super negative, was really bad. Like I did okay today. I'm just exhausted because I put a lot of effort into being a good customer service worker, and I did not do the best job. I definitely could have been better in my interactions with people, but luckily I didn't have any super negative things happen today. But TLDR, I had a crappy day. I was kind of a jerk to other people. I was a super jerk to myself. And here I am at the end of the day recording a weed podcast where I literally just sit in a chair and get high and do my favorite thing, which is talk. Um, I'm just like, I don't want to do it because I've had this crazy day of being angry at myself all day. And it's like, it just wore me down. And so what I'm saying is, be considerate of your temper, and not only towards others but towards yourself, and take the time to ask yourself how you are reacting to things, and if the way you are reacting to things is the best way to react to things. um, because I think that everyone could be better about this. Everybody, there's always room for improvement here. I think that the more mindful you are of your response to any stimuli, the better person you become, and the better a communicator you become. So take all the time to process and analyze what is happening in the world around you, and carry out your responses accordingly, and have, I don't know, have whatever response you put forward be the best representation of your true feelings about the stimuli that are happening to you. Just be mindful and be meaningful with all of your reactions to everything. Or just try to, because you're gonna have moments where your temper flares, where your temper breaks. Everybody gets angry. Nobody's perfect. Like that's what I mean. There's 100% room for improvement for everybody all the time, because no one's ever perfect. Everybody gets angry at some point, but imagine a world where nobody ever got angry. Like, how great that would be. There was never any anger. Holy smokes, we all just agreed all the time. And don't take this in the stupid dystopian, well, you gotta disagree to move progress forward. I know, damn it. Live in my positive hippie dream space for a second. Like, just imagine a world where everybody's freaking happy. It'd be great. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Don't take it any further. Don't be that guy. Like, just don't. Don't. Think about the positives here. If everybody was happy all the time, how great that would be. So there's always room to improve. You don't need to be a hothead. The longer your fuse, the better you are. There it is. TLDR, this episode in one sentence. The longer your fuse, the better you are. There it is. Tack it up. Put it in the episode description that I'm not going to take any time to write today, which I said I'd do last week, but I'm certainly not going to, because I want to put this episode up and get on with my list. So next week you get the nice show notes. I freaking promise, but not tonight, my friends. Tonight, I take one more hit off of this bowl, I edit this episode, I put it on the internet, and then I get on with my life and I commit to having a better day tomorrow, because that's the key. You have a terrible day, it sucks, everybody has them, it happens to everybody. Wake up the next day, commit to it being better. And tell yourself that you're going to be better the next day and your situation is going to be better the next day. And no matter what, you're going to have a better day tomorrow. And I'm telling myself that, I'm telling myself that now. That yes, today was a crappy day, and that is okay. But tomorrow will be another day, and tomorrow will be a better day. And there it is. There's that. I'm going to take another hit of this, and I'm going to go. My Instagram is at Sesh Cast. If Instagram is a thing you do, if iTunes reviews are a thing you do too, that's cool. Yeah. Hit me on the DM, shoot me an email, whatever. If you want to say hey, I'd love to hear from you. And have a good day tomorrow. You deserve it. I'm gonna take another hit of this, and I'm gonna go because I've been rambling forever. Cheers, friends. My name is GLDLX. This has been Sesh Cast. Thank you so much for listening.